There's 2 coffees and a cigarette, a thunderstorm to keep you warm, beating hard of this old room.
Hello everyone. So, you've probably seen, if you've followed my work for any reasonable amount of time, that I often make decorative forged hairpins out of 1/4-inch stock. And it's a nice, straightforward project that you can have a lot of fun with the creativity of it. However, getting consistency of it is the real trick. When people have tried doing it in the past, they've said to me that they've had quite a bit of trouble, and getting consistency is tricky sometimes, even though it's probably one of the simplest stocks to work with, 1/4-inch mild steel. However, the real secret is building jigs, and since I've been batching out a lot recently, I have built a jig to actually make the process a little bit not just easier, but more consistent every single time, because especially one of the trickiest things about hairpins is getting them to line up correctly and make them sit well in the hair without being unbalanced, etc. So why would you make a jig? A jig is often an investment of time that a lot of people don't want to do. You know, they think, oh, I don't want to make a jig, I want to be spending time making stuff. But building something like this is simple, only takes like an hour to knock this together, or half an hour if you've got everything sort of pre-cut. And it can not only make your work much faster, because you're not futzing around with doing scrolls and things on your own, but it also makes your work reliably consistent every single time. And you can make it out of scrap. Like, look at this. This is made out of literally garbage. Welded together terribly, but it holds, you know. I welded, it held it. And this little gizmo will make your life so much easier. Let me show you how. So I can chuck it up in the vise. Take my stock that I have prepared earlier, just using baling wire as an example here. So I could put decorative twists in the right places all along this piece of stock, curl up those ends, and now it's as simple as just hooking the curl there, do one fold on that end, and repeat the same process on this side. So hook the curl, fold it around, nice consistently curled ends. Then I can put this in here and bend it around, and then all it is just fine tuning and adjusting, and I make myself one of my hairpins that I make and sell. So now I just need to bowl it, which is just done over a different like a swage, a dishing swage. And you got yourself a repeatable shape, because you can see what that looks like now. If I bend it back out again, that's why baling wire is good, because you can keep using it again and again and again. So start from that piece again. All I gotta do, hook the curl and roll, hook the curl and roll, like that. Stick it in there. Bend it around, and then adjust, and I got myself the same thing again. So if I prep out a heap of stock with different twists and things, I can put it all through this jig and get the same dimensions every single time. So how's that? I mean, it's amazing just what of a difference this sort of thing can make. Now, this will only make that style of hairpin, but it's very easy for me to fabricate another one for a different style, another one for a different style, and it all just makes the job so much easier. So when you're thinking about trying to, we cover this on the ForgeCast, which I highly recommend you listen to if you don't already, although I don't know why you wouldn't. But we covered this recently, of sort of having that sort of bread and butter work in the background. It's fine to work on the big projects that take a long time and might fetch for a higher price if they do sell, but you've got to have those little things along the way if you're trying to make a living as a blacksmith. And little things like bottle openers, jewelry, andirons, and fireplace pokers and things like that are very, very quick and, well, as easy as you want them to be. Like, if you want them to be decorative, obviously it's going to be a bit more work. Like even these hairpins, it's not as simple as just bending this into shape on a jig. You have to put in all your decorative twists and make sure your tapers are neat and the finish is nice and all that sort of thing. However, once you've taken out the consistency, or the management of consistency, taken that out of the equation, and also dropped the speed considerably. Using one of these makes you much, much faster. you can focus on batching, and batching is the secret to being successful in a blacksmithing or any handmade business is batching. So a jig is almost like a helpful little assistant that just sits there in your workshop and pulls out when you need them. You don't always have to be something like a hardy shank, which can sometimes be trickier to incorporate. You can just, like this, put a wedge on it, stick it in a post vise, and call it good. So something to think about. It's not wasted time. Think of it as an investment of your time. You can knock together a jig in half an hour to an hour very easily, and think of all the time that will save you in the long run. So hopefully this has given you a little bit of inspiration. Let me know in the comments if you've made any creative jigs to help you with projects, and tell me how much they helped, because other people will be reading the comments and I'm sure they'd like to hear. So don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. I also have my Redbubble store, Etsy, all the other good stuff. And I will catch you on the next one. See you later.
Idle hours alone retreats in a world that trades in its own defeat. Market of our pleasures seeks